What's up? Then what's the problem? Tell her to serve it in my husband's plate.
Me?
Hello.
Hi, we're ready to go. Are you set?
Okay. So set.
Okay, great. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Isabel Spiff, and I want to welcome you especially to the Octopus series today. This is a series of conversations, learning, which we've been doing since the lockdown, and we're happy to have you here. We have where we operate. We call her Mixers and Shakers because she's the boss at Mixers and Shakers. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Isabel.
Okay. I'm going to tell you briefly about Debbie, and during our conversation, she will tell us more about herself. So Debbie Onyejekwe is the CEO of Mixers and Shakers. She's a certified bartender and provides cocktails and small chops for events in the southern region of Nigeria. She has been in the business for 9 years and has catered to hundreds of events. She was trained at the Shakers Bar School, South Africa, and European Bar School, London. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much.
Bartender.
Thank you. I'm glad to share my experience this period with everyone.
Okay, so tell us, why bartending? Tell us a little bit about your journey.
Okay, as I've been introduced, my name is Deborah Onyejekwe. I'm the head bartender and the CEO of Mixers and Shakers. I've been in business since 2011. That's when I started, and I started off with cocktails and small chops here. And it's been quite a ride, you know. I would say I got my break in the industry 3 years afterwards, because the first few years it was a roller coaster, complete roller coaster.
Oh, well, like all other business.
I think 3 years. Sorry?
I say like all other businesses, if you're learning the ropes, trying to
Yeah,
find
like all
the
exactly, and also raising babies at that time. So it was a roller coaster ride for me. But by the time I got to 3 years later, so that would be in 2014, 2015, things really picked up. And there were a lot of times that I wanted to give up. I won't lie, the whole in fact, give up everything and probably look for a job, because I was in the IT, I worked with an IT firm before I started my own business. So it was like I needed to go back. There are the periods when things are really, really dry, and it's as if, are you in the right industry? Are you doing the right thing?
Did I make the right choice?
Did I make the right choice? And cash flow, or will I say business, is not consistent. We all know that. But at the time when it's not doing so well, you begin to question a lot of things. And it's good for me, truthfully, because those are the times I come up with the best ideas for my business. So it's like, I'm preparing for when it's going to be, let's say, when there's going to be abundance, so to speak. Yeah, so it's been good. It's been good. I thank God for everything. I thank God for the grace to remain consistent, right? So it's been okay, I would say. It's been really, really good.
Okay, so tell us, with the onslaught of the global pandemic, what happened? What did you do? How did you keep mind and
just like everyone else? I think I had that, this would pass soon, right? So it was like, maybe God wants us to just take a break and just relax. Maybe the hustle and bustle is too much. We just need to just chill. So I was one of those people that felt like we need to calm down. Don't be, that it's, that started in March, yeah? So it was like, just cool down, calm down. It would pass. Well, I noticed after a couple of months, first of all, my events got canceled. Some of them got postponed. March, April, May. I think that was June. We entered into June, I realized, man, income, nothing was coming. Credit alerts, that's what we're used to. When a customer pays for a service, you get a credit alert. There was nothing coming in. And regardless, you have to spend. And also, my staff, I had 2 people on monthly retain that were paid monthly. I noticed that after paying for 2 months, I had to let one go. And I was like, nothing is coming in. So it's almost like reality hits me in June. Maybe it hit me a little bit late. I wouldn't really say that because I kept myself busy with online courses. So I wouldn't really say it hit me late. But then 1 week in June, I just got 4 calls from different people to, they just asked, do you have small chops available? And I'm like, I've never done retail small chops before. Yeah, I've never done it before. I've never even seen it as anything like it's worth I don't want to say worth my time, but like it's profitable, right? Because I'm like, somebody would just call, how much would they pay and stuff. But then in the space of a week, I got 4 calls for small chops without advertising or anything. And it was like the Holy Spirit just, gave me a wake-up call, like get up and do something. You can't just be here.
Work.
So for me, I started, it can't work. For me, I started my retail chops business in June. And since it picked up, it's been really, really, really good. It's been really, really good. So I would say I deviated from, of course, gradually, we've been getting jobs for, the normal events now, like we have like just 50 guests and mostly intimate events.
We're just beginning to open up.
Are just beginning to open up. So the thing is, there are lots of changes for me, so to speak. Yeah. So for me, the calls I get, cocktails for 300 guests, small chops for 300 guests, all that is out of the window. So it was just about trying to utilize, what's the situation we have on ground? What can I do? So hence I started the small chops retail business and cocktails alongside, right? Basically, we're trying to survive. Do you understand? We're trying to survive. So it's not been the way it was, but I'm grateful, for the experiences and the new things I've even learned about myself and especially with my small chops business, which I did not think was at its best initially, right? So I had picked up and done more, learned on the job, so to speak, more. So I would say so far, it's been okay. The later part, obviously, when I started, it's been great. It's been great. So it affected me, obviously, like every other person, less customers, less
Of course.
inquiries, less money, and
Less
this is
money.
something we've done for so long. And I'm used to a certain kind of, will I say, it's not just, sometimes not just about the money. I missed going to events. I missed setting up my
Yeah.
bar at events and serving cocktails.
Same here.
So it was, yeah. You said same here. Okay, I got that. Yeah, I've missed it so much. In fact, I think the first event we had to set up a bar for, I was so excited. It was like there was just something inside. I was like, why am I excited? As in, it's a small job. This is like, I think it was for what, 40 guests. But it wasn't about the money for me. Just this is something I've done for so many
It
years.
was about going
Yeah,
to work.
it's about working. It's about doing something you love. It's about doing something you're passionate about. Yeah. So, like every other business, like I said, it affected us, but we had to, like, I saw a lot of colleagues as well. They all
Yeah.
diversified, right?
Yes,
I saw
I guess so.
cocktail vendors that have started making, they are now caterers. I saw cocktail vendors that have started selling foodstuffs online and
Yeah.
stuff. So everyone, we're all looking for a way to make it work.
And to do
Everyone
more.
is looking
Yeah.
for a way
I
to
think
make it work and to
that
do more.
innovative streak is a good one. Good one. Not just
Yes.
staying in your space, not
Yes.
just watching your business die or just seeing the downturn in income. We're actually going out there, putting ourselves and doing something else. I think that was the plus for those who went the innovative way. So for clients who asked for refunds, for clients who had to cancel altogether, how did you manage that?
So at least I would say I've been lucky. They did not have one client that asked for a refund, not even one. So what they actually did was they pushed nobody asked for a refund. They actually postponed. And one of them said, okay, the event is canceled here, but I'm going to have events in the future. So what we're going to do is next year, when I'm having either birthday or my dad's birthday, you're going to and just find, we would come to an agreement regarding the number you were supposed to have provided. And I'm like, that's fine, totally fine. Then a couple of people moved to January. Some people are not sure of their date, but no one asked for a refund. I think nobody asked me for a refund, but I know a lot of colleagues that, I know someone that had to pay 500K. Yeah, I know someone that had to pay back 500K for catering that she had. Yeah, so.
Wow. That's cool. That's cool. You're pretty lucky. So how did you keep your staff engaged and motivated? Because it was a demoralizing time for most people.
So as I said, I had to lay off one of my staff, not lay off, but like told him to just, chill until and speak back up. And besides, there's always the contract to place them on contract whenever we have events. So we pay as we go. But my other staff that has been on payroll, well, there's always something to do because at one point we had trainings, right? Private classes. So he's like, he would assist me. Yeah, we had private classes at the point where we're doing our online training.
Virtual
not virtual. We had just one virtual class, but we had private class where we could have observe our social distancing in my house. So you come with your masks. We did all that. So he was like an assistant. And we also, like I said, when I don't have a lot of events, I tend to go back to the drawing board to say, what can we do differently when things pick up? So he's always like there with me while we are brainstorming and stuff. So when the small shops business picked, I even had to hire 2 more people. So I wouldn't really say he's been, it was difficult, like keeping him busy or anything, just for a short while. But immediately the small shops part picked up. I think there at a time it was like they wanted to run away, like the work was too much for them. So they've been pretty busy.
Okay. Well, which is cool. You see, there's still the upsides from this whole drama. So I take it you have a learning you have a training for your business. So it's both physical and virtual?
Well, it's It has always been physical. We only had one
Okay.
virtual student that we taught. It
Okay.
has always been physical. The truth is that you can't really teach this properly online or virtually, because you have to feel what you're actually doing. You have to feel the shaker. We have to teach you. There's so many things you have to teach that hands-on that you can't
Okay.
actually teach, yeah, virtually. So the classes are mostly physical. The
Okay.
only thing is
Okay.
due to COVID, we have to observe our social distancing. You have to come with your face masks and all that. But basically, we prefer it done physically, one on
Okay.
one.
Okay. So, in terms of collaborations, did you do any collaborations? When you said you had to do your retail small shops, was there anybody that helped you? Was there any help from outside? Did you have to collaborate with anybody? And what do you think about collaboration
Uh,
itself?
yeah, collaboration is super great and it's important. I did not have a help from anyone, but I did a bit of collaboration with someone that does cakes. In fact, we still do, but not like we put it out there. Like we just know that I know a lot of customers that would call me for chops would say, "Oh, it's for a birthday, and I would like someone that does cake as well. Can you deliver both at the same time? I don't want to talk to two vendors. I
Oh,
want you
okay.
to get a cake vendor for me." So I had that partnership with a lady that bakes cakes. And
Okay.
then I didn't get help from anyone. But I think collaboration is great. Like when I see a lot of these food boxes going out that has a cocktail bottle, you have the food
Yeah.
pack, you have a bit of you have maybe a bit of dessert or something, or you have small chops too in the box. I find it really, really amazing. I think that's put together by event planners. I've not really seen so much of that in Port Harcourt, but I think I've seen a lot of it in Lagos. I think collaboration, that's basically it's a no-brainer. It's a way to move forward in this period. We need
Okay.
each other. We all need each other. So it's a way to move forward this
Okay.
period.
Okay. So going forward, retail shops will remain a staple. Yeah.
Yes, it will remain a staple. And I'm so sorry to all the people I told, oh, we don't do retail, because I've gotten requests in the past. And I would always say, oh no, we don't do that. It's just for
Don't do
events.
that.
So it's
Okay.
yeah, so it's here to stay. It's not going anywhere. It's here to stay.
Okay. Okay. So for those who it's key for event professionals to be proactive. Like you have given us an example how you were proactive. Yes, you already had a business structure in place, but for startups, that some people may have just started their businesses before this whole drama started, or they were in the process
Yeah. Hello?
of setting it up and probably got discouraged. What?
Okay. I didn't get the last part.
I said, what advice do you have for startups who had newbies who had
Okay, startups
actually
that might be
started their
discouraged due to
businesses, or those who have been discouraged from starting their
mm,
business?
well, if maybe you're about to start and or you've already started, I guess there would be some form of investment that has been made,
Yeah,
obviously. So if you've put in money, the only thing you can do is to wait it out and you know put your head in the storm, because there's no other way. There are a lot of people that I know have made investment, and just before they picked up, COVID hits. So it's you just have to remain consistent, and basically the work is 2 times or 3 times harder for them than it is for us, right? We already
yeah,
have our customer base, so if they need
yeah,
cocktails, we know they will always come back to us. But for someone who is just starting, the work is way tougher for them. So your marketing has to be on point. You have to ask yourself, what can you do different that other people are not doing right now? Basically, you have to think outside the box. But giving up
yeah,
or quitting is not an option, or going back to where it was you were coming from, or what it was you were doing before. It's not even an option, especially when you've invested. But if you haven't made any investments, and it's because what COVID has actually done, it's going to make some, well, I don't want to say some jobs redundant, but there are some jobs that are going to be a bit redundant right now until things really, really pick up, which would be later on. Only God knows how long it's going to be. So if that investment has not, just an idea and is on paper that has not really been executed, so to speak, you can go back to the drawing board and ask yourself, okay, is this really worth doing right now? Especially the event industry, we are crying and looking for customers and praying that Wiki remembers us and opens up the halls and stuff. So you ask yourself, if I've not made any investment, is this wise to actually go into this right now? Or wait it out a bit or go into something else. But the investment has been made.
Yeah.
We need to tough it out. Yeah, we need to just, remain consistent.
Yeah, exactly.
Get return. And also you might also think of diversifying. So you've actually decided to do a particular thing, and this is where your mind is at, and you've seen how things are going. You might decide to diversify and just add a little bit of things here and there to just, make more money. Because as it is now, one stream of income ain't working at all. Not working. I'm even looking for more businesses to do. So it's not working at all. Hello? Hello?
It ain't working exactly. A really, really big eye opener. Hi, I can hear you. So what would you say is Mixers and Shakers selling point? What niche? What's your niche?
What would I say is my selling point? Well, I would say, I'm trying to think. One of the things about, I don't really know if I would call it a niche, so to speak. I tend to try my best to keep up with the trend, which, it's ever changing, ever evolving. So I try my best to keep up with the trend. So what I try to do with my business is, for example, with every new year, I try to ask myself, we need to do a new bar, construct a new bar. We need to do something different that customers haven't seen before. So even when it comes to garnishes, we try our best to say, okay, this is redundant. If we've done this too much, let's do something different. Let's add a different touch to it. Like I said, I wouldn't really say I've created a particular niche for myself, but I try to stay on top of the trend and try to be creative as possible with my business. So when it comes to, encourage customers, instead of us having normal cocktails, can't we have our cocktails in pineapple cups and in coconuts, in fresh coconuts and pineapple? And when they agree, that's it's a whole lot different from what we would normally do. And during the event, you see customers, they are really wow that, their cocktails are served in, pineapples and stuff. So it's just basically trying to do things a bit different from the norm, from what people are used to, and also keeping abreast of what is trending right now in our industry. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, she got kicked out. She'll be back soon.
Sorry?
She got kicked out. She'll be back from network issues.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right.
I'm sorry, I got kicked out. I was having a pretty difficult time coming back in.
It's all right.
Okay, I'm sure you've spoken about the startups, how to stay focused and continue with business and all of that.
Yeah.
Did you have to do a lot of mentoring during this period? Because I know that
did I have to do a lot of what?
Mentoring. I know that most seasoned event professionals have newbies, have startups, have people that they mentor from time to time. People wading through the difficult waters of business, especially in your own sector. So, is that something that's ongoing?
Yeah, I would always say I have that ongoing, but it's not on it's on a personal level. So I have a couple of friends. I have two friends that just started their business during this pandemic. So I'm sure they would say I've been mentoring them through it. It's just something I enjoy doing on a personal, nothing to do with my business proper. So, but on a personal level, yes, I have two people I had to mentor through, still mentoring through their business that has just started.
Okay. So when you say on a personal level, so for instance, someone just call you up, a newbie who knows that you are a seasoned professional, a mixologist, and call you up and say, "Man, can you help me? Can you help me through this?" Is that something that you're open to doing?
Yes, it's something I'm always open to. Yes, always.
Okay.
I get calls like that, but that's usually like a one-off, or maybe someone calls twice. Oh, there's something about this particular stuff I don't understand, and you've been in business. Can you help me out? Or they could come around to my house and I would help them out with whatever it is they would need help with. But yeah, that's something I've done over the years.
Okay, cool. I give it to business people who are open to mentoring others, because you get some people who say, "No, I don't want to let out my secrets." And I'm like, "Hello, what secrets?"
Should I tell you a secret?
Okay.
In mentoring people, you learn a lot.
You learn
about yourself, about the topic, like whatever it is. So if I'm teaching you about what is it, let's say how to advertise. Excited about it.
It's a win-win. I really don't. I don't
win-win. Yeah.
Say that when people say let out secrets, and I'm shocked. It just seems so myopic to me. I really don't understand that kind of archaic reasoning.
Well, is anything actually secrets? If you want to get information, you will get your information. There's nothing
exactly. It's everywhere. It's everywhere, really. So if it's personalized, fine. Because there's so much resource on the internet. So much resource. You can get it from anywhere. So I think it's even a privilege that someone looks up to you enough to say, "Please, can you hold my hand, on this journey?" I think it's a privilege, really.
Yeah.
So we've talked a lot. What do you think the government can do? What role do you think they can play to help us? Because when the industry started opening up, we're like, okay, great. They've opened the churches, they've opened markets, they've opened bars, cinemas, and still nothing on event centers specifically, although they're up and running. You understand? They just and the restrictions they gave were restrictions pertaining to things in our industry. So when you have a restriction like no receptions for white weddings, no reception for funerals, we're like, okay, so how do we eke a living?
Well, I won't lie to you, something I don't understand. I don't get it. Like, it doesn't make any sense, because every other industry, as like everything else out there is open. You go to the markets, people are working normally without face masks. You go to church. In fact, the church is full. And I remember looking at the church on Sunday and I was like, this is not, this is not have capacity at all. So it's something it almost feels like it's personal, but I don't want to look at it that. Why are we picked on? It feels that way, like it's being, because there's no reason. I don't see the reason why up until now, the
Yeah.
halls, you can't have your normal events. And one of the things that we know for certain is if the government actually wants to put structure in place, of course, like they've already done to monitor this. So
Yeah.
let's say
The
Aztec opens
restrictions
and
and
you
have the
say
monitoring
have
tasks.
capacity. And trust me, it will be done that way because
It will.
it will be done that way. You have planners, you have the decorators, you're telling them, oh, we're going to have what's in a 400 capacity hall, we're going to have only 200 people. So the chairs, instead of being 10, they're going to be 5. These
It'll
are
be
things
5.
that are easily achievable. So easy.
Yeah.
So easy. So it's something I don't understand. And the government needs to kind of like really come to our aid and help us, and help us because it's been so long. This is since March. There are people that this is, husband and wife in the event industry.
In the same
The
industry.
wife is the decorator, the husband is maybe a caterer or does fireworks or something. And it's too much. It's a lot. It's been quite a long stretch. So we're hoping that, well, I would wish that the government just looks into it and opens up our industry back to the way it was, but with restrictions that would definitely adhere to. I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think it will be difficult. Even right now, you're saying, I know there are restrictions on events and they say 50 people. I've gone to events and there are way more than 50 people and there was no social distancing. And once those people come and go, that's it. The people inspecting, so there are some things, obviously, like I said in my church was almost full. There's some things, obviously, that you can't really have a hold. But I think the events for us, the halls, are the kind of places where you can actually put these restrictions in place and they
in place. It's easy.
Yeah,
really.
it's easy. It's easier
really
than
easy for us to do so.
Yeah, it's easy. So
because
I don't know, we'll just
churches,
pray.
for churches, yes, you can still observe this half capacity, but then again, you don't want to turn people back and all of that. But the event centers is easier for us to do. It helps people to manage their crowd. And for me, the upside of having intimate events is the fact that you can now do RSVP. We can now track our guests. We can now plan properly and not be shocked when we see a crowd, when it was only 100 invites that were sent out. That you see a crowd of like 700 and where's everybody standing, So it actually helps us. And for, when dealing in my line of business, when I'm dealing with clients and they're having to churn out so much cash, they're doing this, it just looks like the spending never ends. With the intimate events, they're more relaxed, lower numbers. You can get all the little details in, which people would appreciate, and you are having fun with your own crowd.
Yeah, not with a lot of
everybody. For every time your eyes sweep your venue, you see people and you share memory with and all of that. So I think for me that's the upside with us in the events. We are better able to plan and manage that crowd, because I think we're going really out of control, overboard with our crowds. When you see colleagues out of the country and they're saying, "Oh, I had such a large crowd the other weekend, it was 250 people." I'm like, 250 people is such a walk in the park. It's not a crowd in any way.
That's nothing. That's absolutely nothing.
You understand? Do with as many as 1,500, 2,000. Oh, really? How'd you get so many people to be in the same place? I said, that's Nigeria.
That's Nigeria.
That's the way we party. Yeah,
that's the way we party. And if there are people you would not invite, so for this intimate parties, some people are not finding it funny. Oh, why didn't you tell me? Oh, why didn't you tell me? And you're like, you know what? There's a restriction. It's not my fault. So a lot of people are happier to go this route right now.
Yes, so I think it's easier. It takes off a lot of pressure from everybody.
Yeah, so and I think the client they can decide to start. I don't know if they have that in place yet, but maybe to start giving out loans at low percentage for businesses that have they're going down. because some people might have great ideas, yeah, and they have great plan. They have a plan, or how will I put it? They know how to execute these ideas, but of course, the financial capacity, financial strength is not there. So another thing the government can actually do, because it's a win-win, like for the government, it's a win-win for our economy. Because a lot of businesses are actually folding, like a lot of businesses, and it's sad to watch them go. They're going down with their ideas, they're going down with their experiences and everything. It's so sad to see them go. So I think that's something the government can look into, even though I know with the whole problems going on right now, that's a fast stretch, and it might not be something that's on their to-do list anytime soon. But hopefully, at least the little they can do, they can open up.
I think when the government, when the mindset changes and they start to realize that the SMEs are actually essential. They'll pay more attention and look for ways. They will start looking for ways to assist and support. So I think it's a mindset thing, because they're just small businesses, but they forget that the small businesses are the ones that drive the economy. We drive the economy.
True.
We've been out of business, and so many people, the different value chains, people in different value chains have been affected. So everything is just down, nothing's happening. But now with things coming, like, okay, once there's an event, the carpenter has work. The person on top, it's not just the decorator. The decorator has a value chain, and different people are in that value chain. So I guess that we just have to keep pushing. Our organized body, something I'm sure we concerns and our challenges, and push it to the government so that they can hear what it is that are our concerns and our challenges. How they can support us to, do better. And I have a comment. Okay, so you talked about loans, the government helping us with loans. I have a comment from Uka. Hi, Dr. Uka. Nice to have you back with us. These business loans that you talked about.
Yeah. Well, we are looking at, I don't know what the interest is right now, but it would help if the government can, like, the key point there is low interest.
They can give us free interest. No interest.
Well, I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but I haven't.
They can give us no interest.
No interest, zero interest. But that's if they could do that, that would be amazing. To say, 1%, 2%, maybe max 5%, so people can easily pay back these loans. But I don't know. I don't know what the current rate is right now with loans. But I know that if the government can help out with that and just discount the people that need this,
If they could make it single digits, that would be
single digits, But you really need the percentage to really be low for.
So they could make it.
For now, right now it's double. That would make sense, actually.
That would make sense. Okay. Welcome everybody who's on the Octopus series today. Thank you for sparing out time to listen to our conversation. If you have any questions, you can pop it in the chat box, and I'm sure that Debbie is more than happy to answer your questions. We'll take about 10 minutes, depending on what questions we have, and then answer the questions. So while we're waiting for that, Debbie, so apart from doing the retail small shops, what else, was there any other business you did?
Was there any other business? I know you keep cutting off a little. I think your network is bad. I don't know if it's mine.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yes, I said, was there any other business you did apart from extending your chops business to retail?
No, there wasn't, but I did I did a couple of courses online that picked
Okay.
my, there are some, I'm kind of like going back into IT. So I've been doing courses online. That was really exciting for me. I did not have to do any other business until I picked up with
Okay.
my
All
small
right.
chops business. Yeah.
So how did you keep your mental state balanced? Because most people were dealing with depression and having to,
Well,
the down income. No income
mhm.
was coming in. How do I survive? How do I do X, Y, Z? So how did you
Well, I was no exemption because at the time I was really, really, I don't know
balance
if I would
that?
call it depression, but it was really, really bad where, I felt so, it wasn't just even about the income, it was about the news all around. And, also when you have a few friends calling you, this person and the person's financial capacity, I know they call you to ask you for a loan
Exactly.
of
That's all.
20K. So that really broke my heart, like so many times when I got those calls. So the whole situation was really depressing. And like for me, after a while, I intentionally stopped going on, I stopped watching the news because the news wasn't
Yeah,
helping
those
my
numbers.
anxiety.
The numbers
Yes,
that
it wasn't
kept going
helping.
up.
I'm telling you, and it felt like if it came into Nigeria, it forced,
Well
there
gone.
was that fear. And you were all gone. But immediately I overcame the fear. I
Yeah.
just basically, yes. So it was depressing at a point, but I took control. I took control. And besides, I had time to watch a lot of Netflix and a lot of movies. So I think that also helped because you take time away from
Okay.
what you see around you and then read books as well. Then when I started my online
Okay.
programs, I just totally
That
forgot
took your
about what was
time.
going on. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. Yeah, I think it's important to always keep busy. That way,
Yes.
you are removed from a lot of stuff that may have negatively impacted your mental state.
That's true. That's true.
Okay, I have a question from Ivy. Hello, Ivy. So, how do you juggle between family and business, especially when you have multiple events?
That's a very nice one. Okay, so first of all, my kids, this is what now. My kids are at least right now, thankfully, they are a bit independent. I have a 10-year-old. Okay, she'll be 10 in
Okay.
December, but I have a 10-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 6-year-old. So at the beginning it was rough. So that's why I said the first few years it wasn't easy. It was rough. There,
Yeah.
I remember times, going to events with my baby really being small, and
Oh,
I would
yeah.
run the car AC. The car will be on with my house help in, and she'll be there all through until I'm done
Oh,
with the
yeah.
fruit arrangement I'm doing, until I'm done with setting up. There are a lot of those, but that's in the past now. But right now, so I plan. So when I have multiple events, first of all, I have very, very experienced hands right now that I've trained. So I have some people on contract that have worked with me for 5 years now, 5 to 6 years. So
Okay.
I have experienced hands. So when I have an event, I choose one, especially the one closest to me. So for example, I live on Peter Odili Road. So let's say I have an event at the hub. I have another one somewhere in Jerry. I have maybe a traditional wedding somewhere. I pick the one closest to me. That's the one I would definitely go work with, go attend to while I distribute. So I have about 4 bartenders. I would say they are very, very good at what they do. They've been well trained, over the years. So they're good at what they do. So they're usually able to head each team where we have waiters in addition and an assistant bartender, so to speak, or someone to help out. So depending on the quantity too. So we also know how to juggle it. Usually there's never an issue with juggling that. Them, like I said, my kids are a bit grown up. So they're
Yeah.
usually back home with the house help or with their dad. And because I always pick the event closest, right?
Okay.
I'm able to come back home in time. But of course, there are times I've had to walk out of town. So in the Wari, Bayelsa, cross rivers, and I've had to sleep, in that town. So those times come, and when it's time, I make proper arrangements for my kids, make sure their foods, I have their meals prepared, then, tell them this is where mom is going to be, and I'm not going to be around for XYZ number of time. I'll come back the next day. So I remember last year, I worked in the Wherry there's so many days I slept in the Wherry. So most times either mom comes around or the dad is around, but because I don't have, they're all independent, so to speak. It wasn't much of an issue. It's easy to just, prep them and leave for work.
Well, at least I've seen them at some events. So
Yes.
it's a plus that we have businesses that we can take our kids.
I get that.
I can hear you. When it's raining, cats and dogs here.
Oh, it's not raining over here. It's very sunny.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, very sunny.
Unfortunate, especially for NSAS protesters.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Okay, so I have another question which says, what does it take to start a mixology and chops business?
To start a bartending business and a small chops business. Truthfully, my business or my field is one that you could start. I always tell people, start small, right? You could start really, really small. I have a student I trained. Her name is Rachel. I love how she started. Sometimes we think we want to go all out, immediately we start. If you don't have the finances and all that, you can actually decide to start small. Basically, when I started with setting up on a table. So you get a table, you throw on a tablecloth, and then you start your drinks and tools and stuff. Gradually, we moved and got a bar and all that. So I can't really pinpoint and say, oh, you need XYZ amounts to start. But I would think the first thing you should invest in is getting trained properly. Because what we do, there's so many people that I don't want to say they are quack, but they're doing it all wrong. Probably because on Facebook, you saw someone that says, I will teach you cocktails for 5,000, for 2005. Let's not even 5,000 is too high, for 2005. And, they throw in some recipes to you, but there's a methodology in doing what we do. So it's important to start with getting trained properly. If you can actually get trained online. There's some free courses you can take online. If you go to Udemy, if you don't have money, so to speak, for, let's say, get a one-on-one training, you can go to Udemy. There are a couple of courses you can get free of charge. And if you are serious enough, you would you'll be able to practice and make perfect. Same thing with chops. Like, you don't need anything extra. You just need to, first of all, get the training, and then you also, do I want to come into this market? So the market is already saturated. What am I going to do? What am I going to do that is different? Should I start with just maybe gradually saying, giving out free cocktails? I'll do some, you pay for some, maybe a percentage, and then I'll give out some free, just for people to try out, my cocktails and know that, oh, this is the bomb, this is really good, and I know my stuff. You ask yourself, how are you coming into the market? Because the market is a bit saturated. So it's, I don't know if you knew about my small chops business. I don't know if anyone noticed, but like, when I decided to start the retail small chops, I remember sitting on this desk where I am right now and brainstorming and saying, I know a lot of people do chops, but what am I going to do to make my chops stand out? And then I came up with those names. I don't know if you noticed, like, we have Belefu, Jolly Jolly. So each platter had a name. Yes, each platter had a name. So they're just, just about, and each platter had a thank you card. So with a ribbon, the same color of ribbon. These are the things I sat down to put together. And I've gotten customers call me back to say, oh, thank you. I love the presentation. I love the fact that I see what I see is what I get, like every order, nothing changes. So if you're going to start a business in a saturated market, it's important to ask yourself what you're bringing in. What do you want to do that's different? How do you want to, your unique selling point, so to speak. But remember to please, if you don't have the finances, start small. Don't wait for the massive, oh, I'm waiting for someone to give me what, 200K or 300K so I can start this business. It doesn't work like that for us. You can start small. You can start with your neighbors' parties and you say, oh, I've learned this. You have a party. I'm going to do cocktails for you. Almost free. You're just going to pay for the drinks and the syrups and the alcohol and all that. And then I'm going to show you what I can do. So you can start that way. But it's pretty simple to delve into our own industry, our own business.
Yeah, I think we should sound that louder to say, put on your thinking cap, be innovative, carve a niche for yourself. But even if you start small, you can grow. You can reach the potential, you can reach the dream that you want to be. So I think it's key for people to understand that it's okay to start small. Some people look at some businesses, they want to style their businesses after and just think that, okay, I have to start at this level. No, that business did not get there overnight. Yeah, it didn't get there overnight. True. And it's the journey that bring the clients and retain the client. Sure. Should I tell you how I retained you? When I fell in love with Mixers&Shakers.
How?
So we had a party for a corporate client where we had a lot of foreigners. And we had paid for a certain number of drinks, but they kept coming to the bar.
I remember.
Everyone was like, Madam, it's amazing. I said, how are we going to do this? And you said to me, don't worry. And you sorted every last one of them out. And I thought that was just fantastic. So you gained my loyalty that day, and Mixers&Shakers.
I remember that day so well, vividly, especially because I remember our setup. Yes, here we are. I remember our setup for that day.
Yeah, that was cool. That was cool. My clients were happy, really happy, and they were shocked that we're able to keep up. We're able to keep the bar open for that long.
Yeah. One of the things I would like to say, I would like to throw in there, for me. So I love to be early for my events. I don't care what's going on. So it's something my people know me with, my staff, anybody that works with me. So if you tell me an event is for 11, so it's something event planners have told me. Debbie, when we give you a job, we just go to bed. So we don't start, they don't call me to say, where are your people? Where are your people? Of course, there have been one or two events that we maybe might have been late for, but that would be due to extreme situations. So it's, I would like to advise anybody out there, whatever it is you're doing, you need to find a way to, whoever it is you're offering that service to, the person needs to have peace with your service. Like there has to be peace, like, oh, I've ordered this, or I've asked for this, and I've known time after time, this is how this person is. And they know you for a certain quality, right? They know you for a certain way you behave, or your staff will behave. So for a standard, exactly. So for me, one of the things for me is we don't go late for events. We try our best, our absolute best. Of course, like I said, there'll be once or twice that things would, mess it up and all that. So that's my own, one of my, will I say, mantras or things I live by. Don't wait for a customer to start calling you constantly. Oh, where are you guys? Where are you guys? Try and be there way earlier. And it takes us a while to set up. So it's a constant battle with me. And sometimes they complain, oh, we get to the event and we have to wait for what? An hour, 2 hours before the event. So I'm like, yeah, they've paid you. You have to be there. You don't have a choice, So it's for me, it's important to have some qualities or some standards you go by, and you don't drop those standards for anything or any reason whatsoever.
Yeah. Yes. I agree with you on that. Thanks to event professionals on how they can reinvent themselves so that post COVID-19, post the pandemic.
I did not get all of that, but I think your question is how can people reinvent themselves post COVID-19. Is that what you said?
Did you hear me?
No, not clearly.
It's really okay. I said, what is your pattern words? What are your pattern words to us? What advice can you give us event professionals on how to reinvent ourselves so that then we come out smelling like roses and our businesses are still strong and relevant?
Well, number one, you have to remain consistent with what you're doing. So whatever it is you're doing or you've been doing pre-COVID, you have to keep doing it. And we know that the finances have, our financial situation has changed, but we have to be consistent. Then we have to look for ways to diversify. It's so important. We have to look for ways to cultivate other skills apart from what it is we're already doing. So you're a decorator. How about selling flowers? How about a training arm where you now start training people? You have people coming maybe every month to get training. How about breaking down your trainings to little bits? Oh, today I want to teach you guys how to flower arrangement. It could even be online. So we have to look for ways to cultivate new skills. I think that's the way forward. So before things normalize or come back to normalcy, we would not be totally, demoralized, so to speak, to go back into join the world or join the event industry where it is right now. And we also need to keep abreast with what is going on, regardless of the fact that COVID is on. Trends are still coming on. If you look at weddings, you see there are new, what do you call it? I don't want to say set design, but new decorations and new, basically new stuffs are coming out. You kind of have to keep abreast with what's going on.
In the decor space, something is popping up every day. Something new pops up every day.
Exactly. So you can't say, oh, because I'm not being paid, so I'm just going to chill and wait till things get better. No, you have to know what's going on. And then also, if maybe, for example, you're a caterer and people are known, they know you for what? You provide food in thousands, for example, or 500 plates. That's the kind of caterer you are. You hardly think of people that do events. You have to start thinking, it's time to go back and ask yourself, okay, how do I tailor myself, maybe bring down my services to these people or to events that are 15, 20, 30 people? How do I package myself in such a setting? What do I do that it's going to? So I don't really lose out. And besides, as much as we're not earning as much as we are, we need the small change that's coming, because it also helps us keep ourselves motivated. So you don't want to just sit down and you're waiting for the whole thing to be over. And no one even knows when it's going to be over. So it's important we diversify. It's important we develop new skills. I know someone that has totally moved away from the event industry and is now into, he said he's into security cameras and stuff right now. So people are looking for ways. And you're not letting go of this other one. Nobody says you can't have 3 or 4 streams of income. But you to at least remain relevant until things get back to normal. So it's important we diversify.
So Debbie, thank you so much. Time is fast spent. We don't have any more questions. We just want to say thank you for joining us today. Special thanks to our guest Debbie, my colleague and friend over the years. She does exceptional cocktails.
And we went to the same secondary school, even if you were way ahead of me.
Thankfully, the industry is opening and we'll be calling on you soon, Debbie. Answer us when we call. Hopefully. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you on the next edition of
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, everyone.
Stay safe and keep busy, okay? Bye.
All right. Bye.